Vadd here. Welcome to Nine Kings. We're going to try a brand new king today. The King of Nature is going to be our first run today. Do me a favor. If you like this video, click like. YouTube channel members and the Patreon to support what I do. Grab a fun drink, select the series playlist, sit back, relax, and enjoy. I have a different idea for the King of Nature. Instead of going through all the difficulties to get the king, we're going to start on the king difficulty and go right in. Nine Kings is pretty simple. We put down our core building for the King of Nature. It's the tree ant. And then we get cards, and we have 3 lives. So they're in the top left corner. So if we lose those 3 lives, the run is over. We lose a life by someone touching our core building. The round starts when we only have 2 cards in our hands. That's about it. It's just that simple. So the reason we're starting on the king difficulty, I've noticed it almost doesn't matter what we do on the lower difficulties. We just win. We can make so many just crazy decisions that ultimately do not work long term on the higher difficulties. Like, they don't work at all. And so what ends up happening is we play through the lower difficulties, we smash everything, we learn some of the cards, but at the end of it, we don't really have a whole lot to show for it, because plain and simple, the things that we were doing to get to king difficulty aren't necessarily the things that always work at king difficulty. So what's going to happen here is we're going to lose a bunch of times in a row, and then we're going to start figuring things out, what works and what doesn't. We're going to get some XP points. And as we level this bar up, we're going to get some perks we can unlock. They've redone the perks. Ooh. Quite literally today, these looked very different. Oh my goodness. All nature troops start with +3 units. Can we just put these in? Let's use a king we have all the perks unlocked for. I think we do for the King of Nothing. So we had 9 perks. This is interesting. Troops start with, oh my goodness. Troops start with Steel Coat? That's crazy. What is this? Vertical perk is applied 1 more time. Add +2 perk slots to 1 row. Huh. These are cool. The perk to the left is applied 1 more time. So if we did this, and then vertical, then left, it gets a giant 3 stack. Interesting. Huh. This is a complete rework of the perk tree. It literally, like, just updated in the middle of me recording here. As I started to run, came back, and I just had 1 level just to see if it would work. Okay, well, I guess we'll use the only perk we have. Well, let us put more in. It will. I thought we need all 9 levels unlocked. Huh. This is our second official run with the King of the Orchard. Creates a route that traps enemies. Okay, sure. Oh, there we go. So by trapping them down, it lets our main building actually, like, deal damage. That makes sense. We got to get a unit down, dude. Look at that trap. Interesting. So that route is pretty good. Hold on, we'll throw the boar in, I guess. Wow, when we get just a silly number of them, 12 on the first level, that's a lot of boar. Very interesting. And then we can slam down a whole bunch of these boys. Now there are 42 of them. That seems like it's a little overpowered. It's year 4. We don't have any farms or any way to get more boar, but we just slam. Ooh, these are new cards. Wow. Move the target to an empty adjacent plot. Moved card gains 10% damage and HP. Wow. Add 10 HP or 10% HP to target, whichever is higher. That's pretty sweet. Hey, and it also now shows move speed when you hover over the cards. Before it did not. That is cool. Okay. Those are just not things it did. We were not going to put a unit there, but maybe we will now, I guess. Especially since there's that migration card. I'm not sure how to get it to pop up, but we could slide them over. Maybe we will. Wow. All right. Sword adds 5 damage or 5%, whichever is higher. Dragon's Den. Summon a powerful single strike dragon. Gets 20% stronger each time a plot is destroyed. Mob. Stone throwing unit. Gains a unit whenever different adjacent card gains one. These are really cool. Throw down the Dragon's Den. Here, check this out. It just shows up and cooks. Wow. It did about nothing. But it has a way to get stronger, huh? They must be new cards because they added in a new king. That's my best guess. Yeah, there's a new king, this blue guy. We've never seen him before. Cool. Kind of kooky, but whatever. We'll try it. I like that dragon unit. I'm just not sure how to destroy plots effectively. It's kind of crazy that our core building here creates a field. Oop. Okay, this is what we needed. Wow, actually, and the troops changed. Soldiers gain 1% damage per new unit. That's the difference. Damage buffs also increase its health points. That's completely different as well. Those are huge changes to these cards. Interesting. Very interesting. That just significantly changes the way you might play these cards. We've got a dragon. How can we lose when we have a dragon? Oh my goodness, are we genuinely going to win our second ever king run? With a brand new king we've never tried before? That's crazy if it works. I'm just dropping units. I don't even know if this makes sense the way we're doing things. All right, buff up our core building. It's becoming King Broccoli. Get the soldiers. Okay, hold on. 9 of them in a stack. Throw this down. And it went to 18, so it doubled. The dragon is cool. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but it's cool. And we're keeping it for the cool factor. It very clearly said how to buff it, right? We need to destroy tiles, but I don't think the King of Nature, which is who we are, has any way to destroy tiles, which is a little silly for us to keep it. But I think it's cool to have the dragon, and I feel like we are shockingly dominant here on year 11. Camp. When a card is placed on an empty plot, camp's adjacent plot gains 2% to every stat. Frost. Attacks slow the movement speed. Let's take our core building for now. I feel like it's doing very good damage here. And again, we'll take our core building because it is tearing it up. And open up a new tile. Very nice. I think the dragon is dealing more damage because there are just more units to get hit. It's interesting that the King of Nature, our units kind of play around that boar. Right, the boar unit has... Wow, we're getting so many cards from not our deck. Shields, take that action. Boom. Our unit, our deck, the King of Nature, plays around with the forest, which gives more health points to the units, and the boar unit, which the more health points it has, the more power it buffs the unit next to it, right? The more health points it has. And so we've yet to get the forest, and we're still pretty dominant, I feel like. Mostly based on our core building. That thing is just incredibly overpowered, I think. All right. Take that action. Drop the... So the farm does not affect the dragon. That's good to know. Make sure the farm's hitting the boar. And can we get more dragons? No. Yeah, let's get more of the pigs, dude. It's that pig run. I genuinely cannot believe how dominant we are right now. I don't know if the King of Nature is actually just this strong, or we just happen to have stumbled into the perfect strategy, which is just place whatever card you get. I say that as we lose this round. No, we won. Dude. Crazy. Okay. Move target to an empty adjacent plot. Move card gains 10% damage and health points. So we can take the migration card here. They move adjacent, and then we can move them back. Because they don't jump on the pigs unless they're next to them. Okay, okay. This is cool. So those giant green circles are from our core building, and they do two things. One, they damage enemy units, and two, they heal our units. And as you can see, they've done 32,000, 33,000, 34,000, 35,000, 36,000. Yeah, they've done 36,000 damage. For comparison, we have 71 wild pigs here, and they did 5,000. We have 18 soldiers here, and they did 99. We've got these roots. 2,000 damage. Even the dragon's like a solid 400, and our elves 1,000. Adding all of these up, right? It's still just 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll just say 9K. It's still crazy how far below that is from 36,000. I mean, that is just crazy. All right, we can migrate these bad boys. Boom. And the AoE size of it, too, is absurd. I just cannot believe this is working so well. I genuinely cannot believe it. We struggled so hard with the previous king in the playlist, the King of Blood. Oh, my goodness. Okay, all of our units are dead, but our core building is just destroying them. This is ridiculous. Hey, we finally got the forest. Oh my goodness. So we want this to buff up our pigs here. There we go. What good is HP on the dragon? Nothing. We're really struggling here, actually, as our snipers are not dealing much damage. They're in our backline killing our elves? Stop that. Stop that. There it is, the blacksmith, finally. We can buff up the dragon. That'll be sweet. I mean, anything to get the dragon stronger, right? Realistically, we should really get rid of it. For the record. Are we going to lose a life here? No! Let's get more soldiers in the stack. I think that's going to help our formation. I think we need that. All right, let's see here. Like this. There we go. I don't know what's happening. We were so dominant, but as we close it on year 20, we're falling apart. I'm not even sure what the play is to try and save them. We'll go Orchard just to lock down more units, I guess. I mean, we fielded 127 units into their 106. And they ran right through us here. We're going to lose right here on year 20. Not exactly sure why either. Wow. Our kingdom has perished. Boo. We got the level ups. Maybe we unlock something good here that can help us. You can now use the pollinator. Okay. You can now use the tamer perk. Let's go check those out. It says start with a mycelium in a random outer plot. I don't know what that is. So it said we start with a mycelium in some random spot. What is this thing? Summon a fighting spore. Spores accumulate every battle. Maybe it's pretty good. Check that out. Apparently not. Nothing's doing anything. We're going to lose the first round. Dude. That wasn't the plan. Let's try again with it, maybe. Here. 2 stacks. There we go. What does it do? Yeah, we still lost with that mycelium thing. It doesn't seem like it's all that great. I mean, maybe it is and I'm just misunderstanding, but it doesn't seem great. I think my biggest concern right now is we just don't have any good troops. These mycelium guys kind of suck. I just have no idea what we're going to do. We can get more hogs, I guess. Elves, perfect. I mean, we need something to help out here. We really do. I feel like we need farms. Or a way to buff these elves. Or we need more of those wizard cards. Oh, this sucks. I'm keeping a close eye on these mushrooms. Does nobody target them? Maybe those are one of those things that the longer it's there, the better it does. Someone's a fighting spore every 9 seconds. I don't know. Like, its damage doesn't seem to be getting a whole lot better, but there are more of them, for better and for worse. They don't do poison damage, but maybe we'll make them do poison damage. Maybe that's part of the trick. I don't know. We'll grab the imps. Maybe the imps have a play here. Maybe they've got some value. And we'll drop the cauldron, and then we'll see if this actually gives this thing poison damage. See if they poison now. I think they do, because everything's poisoned. Maybe that helps them. Like, maybe that's an important part of their thing. It definitely feels like our core building's damage is absolutely based on the value that... We had that vine building that, like, tied units up. Being able to tie units up. Did we lose this run right here in year 11? Oh, they only have 10 dudes left. They're all poisoned. Huh. Very strange. Let's throw the offering down on these guys for the moment. Shields, okay. Wow, we just have buffs. Buffs are nice, but clone this guy. Summon a fighting sword every 9 seconds. So it's a max level. Hopefully it's worth having it max level. We just got more buffs, dude. Come on. We want something more than buffs. Maybe we overinvest on them? I don't know. There genuinely are a lot of them. Like, they're essentially towers, right? They're mushroom towers. But I'm not sure about them. I mean, they're consistently dealing good damage, but is there a limit on them? Like, instead of leveling it up to level 3, should we have just put those as 3 separate stacks? Unlock 3 random plots with forests on them. I don't want the forest on them is the problem. Are they considered summons? It's a good question. Every poison is now applied twice. Let's re-roll once. Whenever any unit is added, add 1 extra. Get back to max new lives. Oh, that could save the run right here. Oh, man, that could get us right back in the fight. Let's take the overwork. I think that's just a really consistent building. Even if we lose the run here because we didn't have more lives, I think this is okay. Like, maybe we deserve to lose that, right? Maybe what we're doing just doesn't work. I don't really want to go wizards. Kind of want those tanky boys. Warlocks, there we go. Awesome. Awesome. And then they won't ride the hogs. So if we don't put them adjacent to hogs, they don't ride them, which is like a big loss, I feel like. That means we need to get a farm down or something. A wall might actually be really solid for us. Might not seem like it, but because of our AoE building with our core building, that explosion, that big zone, might not be bad. Dude, our troops are getting absolutely smacked. Oh my goodness. Re-roll once. Warlocks will take that action. I think we lose this run here. This dude's really intense. Oh my goodness. Like, we fielded 52 troops and we went down to like 10 or 15 about immediately. And then, you know, they still had like a lot of troops and then we got a few back. That's kind of weird. Maybe not weird, maybe unexpected. I'm not sure that we have a winning strategy right now. But these mushroom men are starting to pick up the pace, I feel like. 1 reroll. I did kind of like when they did poison damage, but I don't think we need the poison damage. Hey, we get that space. Awesome. Awesome. Soul buff our core building. It's up to 4. I think I was doubting those mushroom men for good reason, but all my units are dead, and they're the only thing I have holding it together, not counting my core. Dude, we lost. Brutal. That sucks. It's not a bad run, though. It's not. We leveled up again. What do we get this time? You can now use eco-friendly park. What does that mean? It means we start with the forest in our hand, which is nice. That is a nice addition. And we'll do that. Not what I wanted at all, but we clicked it, so too late. Should be a pretty easy start here. It seems like maybe our army is actually very strong at the beginning, right? Like we snowball good. We've got a good snowball into like the first 10 rounds. We feel pretty dominant. But I have this strong feeling of we fall off in the middle, and I haven't quite figured out why. And so we're trying to build around these boar units that are very tanky and provide mobility and more tankiness to who they're next to. And so this round we got lucky and got some warlocks. And I do mean lucky as it's complete, randomness what you're going to get. Get 1 copy of each card of your king. All troops in the field now have the same damage. Nah, we can do populate. That's fine. So we have a total of 9 pigs. This should take us to 24. That's huge. We need to get more wizards and warlocks, I feel like. It's a big bottleneck right now. Man, I wish these blessings would come on a plot we already have a unit on. It's almost always on an empty plot. Now, we do intend to put boar on that plot, but we don't have any boar to put there just yet. So, bummer. At the same time, there's a strong temptation to put a farm on that plot because we need more warlocks. As we currently have 3. We don't really have a good way to like consistently get more. We leveled up the card, so now there's 9, but we can only level it up one more time. It's really tough to tell. I've said this before. I feel like the art design of this game has a certain charm. Ooh, hold on. 1% damage. That's fine. King of Nothing. There we go. Maybe we can get a farm involved. It definitely has a charm to it. The issue I have with this art design is it's very tough to tell what units are what at a glance and kind of figure out when the fights start what's happening. For example, is the King of Nature here? It's just like a green blob. And to be fair, I have a oh, hold on. Orchard, we need that. And to be fair, I have a fairly large screen that I'm recording this on, right? So I'm not, like if I was on my phone, there's absolutely no way I would have any idea, or a tablet, I'd have no idea what the troops are. It's just too tiny, I feel like. Maybe it's just my old eyes, right? Like maybe it's my shortcoming, but I'm saying it right now. These pigs are green, and the troops that are riding them are green. Oh, hold on. I don't know. These are pretty good. We'll try the Frost card. I wonder if we can use Frost on our core building. We'll see. We cannot. That's a huge bummer. So attacks slow enemy movement speed and attack speed by 20%. I don't know if I love that. Because whatever we throw on these guys is going to get stacked up. I would like some more like info on how the poison works. Is critical hit damage a solid 200% increase? So a hit that would be 10 is a crit 20, right? Or, oh wait, hold on. So the boars are green and the warlocks are also green, and the warlocks riding the boars are green. And I have a tricky time telling the distinction at a glance between, are these warlocks or boars, or boars riding warlocks? I think one solution there, make the boars brown, right? Give them some distinction in color so I can see there's a green troop riding a brown boar. Or give me options to, my core building draws these giant green circles, which are cool because it's showing me it's dealing damage and it's healing, but give me a way to make them a little more see-through or something, right? Maybe it's an accessibility option I'm looking for here. Ooh, let's throw down a shaman maybe and then offer it up. I don't know. Oh my goodness, expansion mode. What do we do? I think we go here, try and get more pigs. Or we're going to put pigs here. Maybe we go here and then here. Oh. I don't know. I just do not know what the best. I know I wanted to put pigs here. Let's go here for the minute. See how that checks out. Buff up our library. Yeah, the King of Progress. We field 39 troops in like off rip. He kills 19 of them. About 50% of our army is dead, but it's a little tough to tell that happened because half of our army are these mushroom men on the sides, these towers basically, and then the tree roots, and then our core building. I don't have a single unit in that stack. It's quite literally just the vines are just bullying whoever's in there. Let's re-roll this once maybe. That sucks. So defender might not be bad. Tank unit doesn't attack but reflects damage. I kind of wanted to put another boar here, but it might not be a bad addition. Let's go ahead. We'll throw down the frost. We'll throw down the poison. See if we can get some value from that library. At least some more options. I don't know. We've yet to see another board card, have we? Like, it's been a very long time since we've seen one. They're just a 2 stack. Let's re-roll it once. There we go. And we will take the gambling. I think that's a strong card. Get that bad boy down. So we're fielding 54 units. I don't feel like that's enough. I feel like we need more than that. I feel like they're getting killed way too quick. Yeah, look at that. We killed about 20 of them, and there's a lot of them left. Brutal. Very brutal. All right, this is the last stack of... No, warlocks are stacked up. Dude. Let's throw down the shaman with intentions to kill him. Okay. And we'll throw down some poison here, see what we can make happen. I think we're going to lose here coming into round 20. We're just not scaling well. I think these boars kind of suck. I think they're very strong if we can get them there, and they're just not quite there yet. Maybe these defender units with the reflection are a good addition. I don't know. First hit, always crit. Turn enemies into rats that fight for you. Don't love that, but we'll pitch it. I can't imagine that that's what's holding us back. The inability to turn our enemies into rats. I think most of our damage... Like, look at our troop damage. Not a single stack over... Oh, one of them just crossed 1,000, just barely. Maybe the poison damage is ticking up? I don't know. Because I only have 10 troops alive in there. I mean, we are struggling with these troops. Buff up our core building and try not to cry, because I think we're going to lose. I think we're just in a bad way right now. Throw down some elves. I don't like those elves are just in a bad like placement. We don't have any good tiles open. And we need more bodies in the fight. I mean, anything to slow these armies down. We have 1 life left, and I think we lost. That sucks. I don't even think we got enough XP for a level up. All right, we got that 1 level up. See what we get. The gardener perk. Probably sucks. The orchard cast +1 root. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. This could be the run. This could be it. This could be the one we really pull together and just bring it home. I really like this elven ranged unit, but it needs a unit in front of it. Their attack speed is just too slow. And warlocks could be the unit. It's a good unit. We need to find a way to get more of them. Those warlocks are a little tanky. They deal like moderate damage, a little bit AoE. Like they can be a really good fit for us. We got a library down. If we can get a good buff on these guys, we could definitely do some interesting things. We don't have anything to buff them with, but I like an attack speed buff, but our best bet is probably the steel coat, something to negate damage, keep him in the fight longer. Some gold in our pocket. Holding strong here at year 4. It's a little awkward. We get that perk to level up our Vine's ability to grab dudes, hold them down, and we don't get a single Vine tower. I spoke too soon. There's the orchard. Orchard, I do believe, is a good unit. I like this guy. Just holding him down. So it says it creates 3 roots, but with our buff, it should create 4. And I kind of wish the text would change to reflect that if you're running the buff. I think that would be nice, just so we could actually feel like it's working. All right. Blessing in 9 years. What have we got? Double the damage of the card on target plot. That's a bummer. We're not planning on putting a unit there. Just how it goes sometimes. This is kind of weird. We have, like, almost always it feels like with the King of Forest, we have a dominant years 0 through 10. Our kingdom absolutely just tears it up those first 10 years. And somewhere between year 10 and 20, we fall apart. Consistently. Very consistently that happens. All right, new king to wage war on. Don't really want either of these dudes, but we'll run it. We do not have the king of nothing in the mix right now, which means we don't really have a good way to increase the number of units in a formation outside of that procreate card to slam another 10 or so. But as long as we can keep drawing that card, if we have a maxed out farm, it'll give us 3 new units. That card will throw down 9. So it's the equivalent of 3 maxed out farms, but we are playing a card to make it happen. So it doesn't feel quite as good as a farm as that farm after you get it kind of rolling, right? In that farm, you commit to it for 3 rounds, and then it's just good to go. Like, it's going to keep working for you, and then you can play other cards. But if we keep playing that procreate card, you know, once every, I guess, 4 rounds or so, it's about the same. It just doesn't feel as good. We'll take the altar. We've got cards dying regularly. And I kind of want to go with the vault. I feel like having a little more gold to spend would just be nice. So we're going to take that. Even if it doesn't really fit whatever we've got going on, I do not care. I think it's worth trying to get involved with. So get this down. I was saving this space so we could buff up these 3 dudes or the vines, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Well, hold on. In 2 rounds, we can expand our base. Where are we going to expand? Probably here. We will hold off on the vault for the minute, I think. I think that's okay. See how this works out. We have so many of these mushroom bros on the side, but I don't know that they're really doing that much damage. I can see their damage numbers, but they always do like 1,000 to 2,000 damage, it seems like. But it does not seem like they are consistently... I don't know. Maybe if we get them to do poison. I've got that nice space open in the middle. Maybe that would be nice, that poison pot. We'll see how it shakes out. Do we go imps? Imps will be a nice addition. I think we expand here and try and make these... Well, do we have the King of Greed involved? Because then we could go attack speed. And maybe attack speed... I don't know. Right now we just don't have a bad choice, but we almost don't have a good choice either. Is the way it feels. I think we should get rid of the King of Spells. He's doing way too much damage to us, I feel like. I know we won this fight, but that was really close. It's like clockwork. We get past year 10. Where are we at here? Let's re-roll this, see if we can get that library. We can afford 1 more re-roll. There it is. That's pretty close. I think we're holding this vault card for too long. We might pitch it. Even though we spent the resources to get it, it's just not giving us a lot of value in our hand. I was planning on putting it down, but I feel like we need to be buffing our unit cards, and more gold doesn't do that for us right now. And we only have a handful of open spaces. I don't think we can afford to play the vault. which is a bummer, as I do think it's a good card. Do we go Cemetery? Ooh. We can. That actually might solve some of our problems. So, it just gives us more bodies, right? Which is part of our issue. We have those mushroom bros on the side doing a lot of damage as little tower units, but we need more bodies in front of them. So even if that graveyard isn't dealing a lot of damage, it's just slowing up whatever's coming at us. Because we're not fielding a lot of units. We're not fielding a lot of units at all. Quite the opposite. We're actually fielding very few units. Do we re-roll this once? If we do, what are we trying to get? Maybe a Vine upgrade? I don't think it's worth the money right now. We don't have like a clear, this is the card we need and we can get it. So having the more elves is fine. It was a little bit of an awkward pick grabbing one of the altars from the King of Blood into our mix, but I actually feel like it's doing okay, as we seem to very consistently lose kind of a shockingly large number of units. Huh. All right. We'll make it work. Here we go. Not the King of Spells again. We're outnumbered 2-1, not counting the mushroom guys. Oh no. He's got just way too many troops alive right now. By the way, the graveyard actually doubled the number of units we fielded. We're now at 90 units and we started with, I think, 46, 47. So just about doubled. That's pretty good. Do we re-roll this for the... I like to be able to hover over this and then drag my mouse down and read what these buffs are again. I forget what that one is. Do we re-roll this once for... Let's take the offering, we'll put down the vault and then destroy it. We can do that. That's not the worst possible outcome. Yeah, it looks like we're fielding 54 units, I think it showed. And so having the graveyard there getting us to 90, 91, I think it was last fight, is huge. I'm kind of surprised how often the different kings here in Nine Kings have good synergies between not just themselves, but each other. Ooh, do we go offering or overhaul? Let's go overhaul. I was really thinking we were going to get more units. Okay, well, let's do this then. That is awkward. Do we play the vault? Clone the vault? Overhaul the vault? Let's play the vault. Overhaul it for the upgrades. What got upgraded? So the orchard and the cemetery. Charming. Who do we clone? Do we clone the library? Let's get the snipers to the elven snipers here to their 3rd tier. See, like that's something that's got to get fixed as well. If we hover over this middle card, we can't actually read this tooltip here. We have to go to a side card and go over. Such a little thing, right? But just one of those things that as early access ends, you hope that it's kind of like, it might not be first on the list, but something that eventually gets addressed. I also think that the mushroom men, getting them on the first round is kind of make or break for our strategy. Okay, vampirism's pretty good. Let's re-roll this once and hope for a graveyard. And we got it. Cemetery, whatever. Hey, we got an extra slot. Perfect. Okay. Do we have this slot? We do. So hypothetically, we could have put a boar here. Nah. Let's think about maybe using the cemetery better. Or just wide out in the wilds. Well, think about the cemetery. It is a tier 3 building. It is providing value for us. Like, we might be able to do something good with it. All right. Like I said, year 0 through 10, King of Nature here, really solid. But there's something about year 20, it feels like we start falling off really hard. And my hope... Oop. Do we get another Mycelium? It's a good card. It's year 20. They're both stacked up to 3, but they're both routinely doing the majority of our damage by a pretty significant number. Maybe we just go more elves. I don't love the whole let's get more elves, though. It doesn't bring me a lot of joy. And we've got the overinvest card. Do we overinvest on the mycelium are only doing 13.5 damage? How much more? 15% of 13. It's just not a big bump. Like, we'd get more of a bump from the altar. So I think we overinvest on the altar, which seems a little silly, but I think it's currently our strongest unit. Ignoring the mushroom men. Are we really going to lose on year 20 to the King of Spells? Come on, say it isn't so. Since year 0, we've left that hole in our spacing so that we could put the poison cauldron or whatever. And we have yet to have an opportunity to draw it, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, these are not great. Or we roll this once. Double every heal effect you receive. Or do we make our summon 50% stronger? So this dude has 50 damage. It would just go straight to 100. How much is this guy healing? It says creates a field on the ground that heals, but it doesn't actually say. Like, if it's healing like 1 tick, doubling that goes to 2, doesn't do a lot. But if it's healing like 500 ticks, doubling that goes to 1,000, and it's crazy good. Not having that information means that we're oftentimes, I feel like, making decisions that we don't actually know if they're worthwhile. Like, it's really easy to just go here and go, okay, this guy does 50 damage. This should make it 100. Let's check here. And now it's 76. Okay, that's weird. Why is it 76? I assume because it doubles whatever the base damage is and not the actual damage that card has at this point in progression. Like, there's little things like that that give me a very low degree of confidence that we're consistently making the best decision. And because of that, I think we fail a lot of runs where we've made a bad decision where if we had a little more information, we never would have made that decision. For example, the mushroom men are crazy strong. I think we build the forest just so we can nuke it later, which is fine. Mushroom men, crazy strong. But if you don't build it on round 1, are they not crazy strong? Because remember, they only do 13 damage a hit, which means for them to do 10,000 damage, you divide that by 13, how many of these little dudes do you need? Which again makes me think that the entire... We can make peace with somebody. Let's get rid of the king of these progress guys. Yeah, he's dangerous. I don't like him. I think he's going to try to mess up my run. Okay, destroy target plot, level up 2 random plots. What could level up? It could be the orchard and the tree ant. Perfect. Well... No, let's just wait a second on that. Is 2% more HP isn't bad. Would we have failed this run if we didn't have that altar? That's also like a big question in my head right now. Because as you can see, it almost did 20,000 damage this run. That last round. So unit cards total damage, 6,000, 7,800 or so. Not counting the cemetery because those are like revived cards. Mushroom men total damage looks like about 17,000, 18,000 maybe. Our main tower, 2,000, right? The altar though, just under 20,000. I mean, it did like big damage. But again, you're just stuck there asking the question of like, even though the orchard doesn't do a lot of damage, because it's immobilizing units, it's keeping other kind of ranged units alive longer. I don't know. The biggest question mark I guess we have with Nine Kings is that it just gives us so many question marks that there are just not answers to, right? Okay, clone, migration, swords. We need 2 migrations though. I think we take the swords. Maybe the clone. What would we clone? I think we'd clone the orchard. Oh, we only have money for 1. Ooh. So 5 damage or more roots. Let's go with the clone. I think it just has better utility. I'll clone the orchard. I'm not in love with that play, but I think it's a good unit to have. It's not a lot, but locking down 4 more units, I think, does make a big difference. Especially when you think about like the AoE circle that our Broccoli Boy brings. We need him to be able to get as many units in that circle as possible. So even if add 9 units to the stack, perfect. Yep. The Rainbow Army on year 26. We've never seen this before. This Rainbow Army, I think, always came on year like 11 or 13. I forget which one, but it was always before year 15. This is new that it came this late. Maybe it's now randomized. Interesting. I like that. Slime, that's new. Proliferating troop that multiplies itself to 1 empty adjacent plot every year. That's crazy. Let's take the Gigantify, double the damage and HP. I think we can get good value with that. And there we go. I think we win this run. This is the highest difficulty in a army or a king we've only used but a handful of times, like 5 or 6. I'm kind of shocked that things have gone this smoothly so consistently. Where some of the other kings we've really had some serious amount of just sweat, pain, and just, you know, just frustration trying to get it to work. But these guys really seem to... I don't know, is it the Mushroom Men carry that are making this too easy? You know, like, it just really seems like they're so straightforward. Which is kind of curious, because the first king they introduce you to, right, is the King of Nothing, who has a lot of traditional, like, here's guy with sword, here's guy with double every heal you receive, support buildings hit twice. I just do not know how much healing we're actually receiving. And we don't have that many good support buildings down. Leatherwork is like definitely good. Double movement speed. But I just don't know what the best decision here is. We're going to re-roll it and see if there's a more obvious choice. This is a gamble. This is a huge gamble in this re-roll. I think it's important to remember we're on year 29. And on year 33, that's the official you've done it. Like you've completed that core run, right? You can still go further, but that's the core. We're really close to the end. I feel like Poison Thorns are the best pick here, definitively. But I also think we have no way to get more units outside this Procreate card, and the receiving 3 of them is huge. This is insane value. So it says 9 units, but you can see there's 51 in the stack. So 9 would take us to 60, but watch this. It went to 69. We got 18 units, right? So remember, a maxed out farm only gives you 3 new units to a single tile at most, not counting any kind of buffs like overwork or whatever. So 3. So one of these cards was an 18 unit bump, which is the equivalent of having that maxed out farm for 6 years in a row. We've got 3 of these. So this is 6 years, 12 years, 18 years of a maxed out farm, which this early we just probably don't have easy access to. So I'm actually really happy with that outcome. Even if like if we were really trying to push to like round 100, it would have been better to go Thorns. Because I think that's a very, very high value card. Especially since we don't have a way to get poison damage yet. So that definitely is just like a good pick. That being said, I think getting that many more units was more beneficial. Running out there with 105 warlocks that have been gigantified is a game changer in the power of our army. It's essentially more than doubled our army size at this point. And you can actually see there's enough of them staying alive long enough that they actually did 12,000 damage that run, which might not sound like a lot, but realistically, even my snipers here only did 6,500. They doubled. So these warlocks have a damage of 4, right? 4 damage. They did 12,000. These sniper boys here, the elves, have 103 damage. So a unit with 100 damage a hit versus a unit with 4, and the unit with 4 damage, it did 6,000 more by the end of the match. Like, it's kind of mind-boggling. Ooh, hold on. I think haste is really good, actually. Oh, we needed that haste. That's huge. It's kind of mind-boggling just how effective those warlocks became just by getting more of them in the stack, right? And one of the reasons, right, is that if you have 10 units facing 20 units, The army with 20 units gets to shoot all of your people, hypothetically, twice, right? But if you have 20 units fighting 20 units, everyone only gets shot once. So even though having more of them in a stack might not seem like... Ooh, what do we take? I think we take the offering. Even having more units in a stack might not seem like a big change, right? In this type of a format, it's significant. It is very significant because it gives them all a little more survivability, and you're in one-on-one fights instead of one-on-two, right? Man, that mushroom army is really coming online. And the craziest part about the mushroom army is we never even got to put down like a blacksmith. These are just raw, flat, the most average, basic 3-power mycelium dudes. This is it. 20 damage. They hit every second or so. That's it. There's nothing fancy about them. Other than the fact there's a million gajillion of them, lined up because we've had them since the first year. So 33 years of building up. It'd be interesting if you could do a whole mycelium run. Could you just stack these up and make it work? Mycelium, your tree ant, and your orchard. You probably need some of the specialty cards unlocked or available to make that work, but it would definitely be a curiosity, right? All right, our nemesis, the King of Spells, is running his final match, which is pretty crazy that we've actually had this level of success. And I'm very proud of this run, actually. I'm happy with the synergy here between the King of Blood's altar and cemetery here to give us more troops. And I'm actually pretty thrilled. We even these warlocks are from the King of Spells. We were able to mix in 2 other decks into our core buildings to get really, really good value. I think the odds of us losing this are actually pretty decent. The King of Spells has given us the most trouble of all of the dudes we fought. And I love the choice here, this overinvest, right? Increase every stat by 15%. It's obviously going to be good on our warlocks because we have a lot of them, but it's probably better on the altar or these mycelium because we have even more of them. So I love that we're in a position where we can make multiple good decisions. And I wish sometimes we were in this position more often. Do me a favor. If you like this video, click like, YouTube channel members, and the Patreon to support what I do. Let's see the King of Spells champion. He's brand new. Very cool. I do want to reiterate, there is a playlist with more 9 kings in it if you want to see some of the other kings and some of the other runs. As you can see, this is a very close fight. The King of Spells fielded 350 troops. We fielded 150, not counting the fact they have a champion, which means we're not just outnumbered here, 2 to 1. It's quite a bit more than 2 to 1. And our healing must be massive, as our tree ant, you can see, is just about to cross 100,000 damage. That is insane. And our graveyard is working overtime here. The cemetery, as it has added an additional 30 units or so. 50,000 damage from the altars. Yeah, the King of Spells is tough. Do not be deceived. This might have looked like an easy run, but a lot of things went very, very right for this run to be so successful. Man, the mushroom men on the sides, both towers breaking 20k damage. That's crazy. And our core building just passed 300,000. Insane. Absolutely insane. Just barely getting it done. Wow. Your kingdom has thrived. Fantastic.